How do I use commas? Have you ever wondered how to use commas correctly? Understanding this can make a big difference in your writing, especially when preparing for high school exams. Let's break down the essential rules for using commas so you can feel confident in your grammar skills. First, when you have to independent clauses, which are complete sentences, and they are joined by coordinating conjunctions like and, but, or nor, for, so, or yet, you need to place a comma before the conjunction. For example, you might say, she studied hard and she passed the test. This helps clarify the relationship between the two ideas. Next, if your sentence starts with an introductory word, phrase, or clause, you should add a comma after it. This signals that the introduction has ended. For instance, after the bell rang, the students left the classroom. This small pause helps your reader follow along. When listing 3 or more items, use commas to separate each one. For example, we packed sandwiches, fruit, and drinks for the trip. The comma before the last item, known as the Oxford comma, is optional but often recommended for clarity. If you have 2 or more adjectives that equally describe a noun, separate them with commas. You can test this by checking if you can add and between the adjectives or change their order without changing the meaning. For example, it was a long, tiring day. You can say long and tiring day or tiring, long day. Commas are also used to set off non-essential information. If a phrase or clause adds extra details that are not crucial to the main meaning, enclose it with commas. For example, my brother who lives in New York is visiting us next week. If you remove the non-essential part, the main idea remains clear. When dealing with dates, addresses, and titles, commas play an important role. In a full date, place commas after the day and the year. For example, she was born on July 4, 2005 in Chicago, Illinois. Also, titles following names should be set off with commas, like in Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights leader. If you are contrasting two ideas or showing a shift in thought, use commas to separate the contrasting parts. For instance, I wanted to go to the party, not stay home. This helps clarify your point. Lastly, when introducing or interrupting a direct quote, use commas to separate the quoted material from the rest of the sentence. For example, she said, "I will be there soon." This makes it clear who is speaking. As you prepare for high school exams, remember these practical tips. Identify independent clauses before using commas with conjunctions. Practice spotting introductory phrases to improve clarity. Commas in lists help avoid confusion, especially in longer series. When in doubt about coordinate adjectives, try inserting and between them or rearranging their order. Pay attention to commas in dates and addresses, as these are common grammar questions. Review your writing for non-essential information that might require commas to avoid run-on or confusing sentences. Mastering these rules will help you tackle grammar questions with confidence and write clearer sentences in your exams.